Hey, welcome. This is Doug, your realtor here in Utah. We're doing another interview today with an award winning graphic designer. This is Miranda Stromberg. Stromberg, only for the last year.
Mhm.
She is my one and only daughter. But she has all kinds of different things. She's a graphic designer now. She's done things like uh, book covers that she's designed. She does logos, and I know that's little, but we'll get there. So anyway, so wanted to pick her brain just a little bit about graphic design and websites, different things just like that. So let's dive into it. So Miranda, start with did you why did you want to get into graphic design?
Well, I've always been an artist, and it seemed like a fun way to merge the design and art world with technology and apply it to different companies and today's working world, I think.
Um, so in the world of graphics, and I mean, and that's a wide range. I mean, from advertising, billboards, logos, I mean, websites. Today's world, I mean, it really is a huge world.
It is because not only is it advertising marketing, it's different mediums or platforms like doing video or 3D or yeah, doing the marketing side of it or print. There's a lot of different forms.
I never even thought of it that way.
Yeah.
I was just going down the list of things, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. So, in the world of graphic design right now, are you seeing, what's one or two things that you're seeing that people are messing up, or maybe could do better?
Mhm. So I think maybe if we talk specifically about websites, one thing is people, if they first come out with a website, they don't have clear navigation. And that's a big issue because what if people don't know how to navigate your site? They're not going to be able to get the help or information that they need, as well as making it clear what the website is for or what you actually do. You know, people, you get traffic there, but nothing happens if people don't understand what's going on.
Well, and it's amazing because I mean, to me, there's a lot of times where we have to say, Miranda, help, because we don't know how to do the remote or whatever, because it's different. But then you go to my parents, well, we were taught. I was looking the other day. So in when I graduated high school in 1985, not 1985.
It's the same thing.
True. I mean, there were no fax machines, there were no cell phones. You still had phones plugged into the wall. And that's the little square box in real estate that you see in the wall that looks like a light switch. That little square, that's what it is. People don't know that, but we'll go there. Anyway, so there's just a lot that way. So, um, and I know from an advertising perspective, when you're talking about websites, they always talk a lot about above the fold. Do you do focus that way, or are you talking consistently across the board?
Oh, definitely consistently. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
because I mean, we were talking earlier, and Miranda pulled up a healthcare website. Well, and she started talking about how and showing me a comparison between one that was trying to be new and trendy and 3D and stuff
Yeah.
like that that she really loved.
Overall, it wasn't a bad design. I will clarify. It's not a bad design, but it didn't seem like it fit with healthcare. And maybe some of you know if you're a designer what I'm talking about. But because for me, design, you only want it to help people understand what you're selling or what you're trying to communicate. And if I see colors with gradients and 3D and everything that doesn't communicate safety and healthcare, that's just like, oh, I'm trying to be trendy and get people's attention. When people already, they already have people's attention, so they don't really need to do that. They just need something that's structured and something that's easy to use, because not only is it a young demographic, but we've got really old people
Thank you.
trying to use it as well.
I walk her out. But I mean, and that was exactly what you were saying. Is you said that, you know, you've got younger generations, and then you've got grandmas and grandpas that are both trying to navigate. And if you get too tricky or too over designed, the older generations get real frustrated because they literally have issues with one button.
Yeah, it's true.
So anyway, um, are you seeing? Are there any like trends that you're kind of seeing? Is there colors or anything like that that are coming that you can see? I mean, like we talked about the healthcare one, and they moved their logo to 3D, which she had an issue with because you can see where it's been almost like cut and hooked together and cut and hooked together. And
it just didn't look like it was done well technically either. But that's because I would notice those details.
and this is why she's so good, is because she really is a perfectionist. And from anyway, so we'll stay on the colors and then we'll circle back. So like I said, any trends that you're seeing?
The hard part is, it's an answer that maybe isn't helpful, but it depends, because it could depend on what field you're in realistically. So maybe, yeah, if it is more technology focused, it could be more gradients and the bright colors, kind of like that, you know, medical rebranding, which doesn't make too much sense to me where they're trying to be hip with it. But I mean, maybe they have intentions trying to communicate that to people. Who knows? But yeah, it just depends on what market you're in, what world you're in, what you're trying to communicate. That's just the biggest thing.
Well, to me, you know, when you sit there and you talk about real estate, I see different real estate companies. I mean, when you're driving down the road and you see the for sale sign in the yard, if you have a for sale sign that's the same color green as the lawn, you're probably not going to see it. Nope. You know, they've really got to be white or red to really kind of pop.
And I mean, if we're talking about signs,
okay.
If I, as a designer, were to drive past a house and yeah, it had a sign in the front yard, if that was not designed well, I'm like, that's not a good representation, because that's not high quality. Maybe the actual like real estate isn't high quality. Maybe the house is a piece of crap. I don't know. But it starts from there, which sounds bad. It's like a don't judge a book by its cover, but you really are.
Well, and that's true, because from a real estate standpoint, 90% of your purchase is curbside.
Yeah. Curbside
appeal. And whether that starts with the sign or the bushes or the grass growing everywhere, yeah, it all curbside. So, but yeah, with the real estate, you know, and websites and things like that, I think a lot of times people try to overthink and try to become too tricky, and it really is a clean, precise design and an element. And one of the things that she looks at and helps her immensely is, in real estate, she was because she got married a year ago, but was my photographer for all the real estate. And so she could look at it from that perspective and take the photos from that perspective, which was awesome, because it really did make things look so much better. Rather than you can go online today and see people taking their pictures with iPhones, and you see the room kind of bow out, all kinds of weird things, but oh well. That's why they do what they do. And then, you know, one of the, you know, we always talk about that KISS principle, keep it simple. So if you were talking to somebody brand new, that was just getting ready to start or put a website out there, what would you tell them, or one or two things that you absolutely must do?
Yeah. So this is a good question, because I feel like when people want to put a website out there, it's tempting to want to throw a bunch of different colors out there, a bunch of different fancy stuff. But realistically, there are certain things that play a huge part. Like, say you wanted to include a neon color, a neon green slash yellow. If you're putting that on a white background, people aren't going to be able to see that. So it's even if you have to keep it black and white, you need to make sure people can read what's on there. Because that's not going to be visible to other people.
But reading it, sorry, but reading it means size of the font.
Mm-hmm.
It means all of that.
Yeah, it has to be legible. That doesn't mean it needs to be ginormous.
Yeah,
because that's going to be a bit aggressive.
But you couldn't put it like a dark gray on a black background because again, you can't read it, and that's the purpose, right?
Yeah, for sure. And then high quality images are a big one because if you go to a website, there's a crappy quality image, it gives the message of like, I don't really care. Like, here's just some throw up on a website, and then navigation as well, and maybe a history or a background on why the website exists or what the company is, what the branding is, whatever it may be.
So I mean, if somebody has to go and dig 4, 5, 6 pages back in the website to find out what you're actually doing, probably not a good idea.
Yeah.
They a lot of times, again, they call that above the fold. So somebody clicks on your website and sees that very first page that pops. That's where they need to be able to know who, what, where, why, that quick.
Exactly.
So anyway, well, very cool. Thank you for taking a few minutes to talk shop with us. But as you go through and look at things, really look at it from not your perspective, but the consumer's perspective.
For sure.
And who is your customer? Is your customer 80? Do they need one button? Do they need big print? I mean, no, right?
It's true.
So anyway, hope this helps. We'll see you later. Check out all the other videos, and we'll see you shortly.